If you're so smart, then pay your own bills. Asterisk, my mom's voice cut through the small apartment like a knife, sharp and cold. I was exhausted, coming back from a double shift at work, my shirt streaked with grease, my shoes heavy and worn. I barely had the energy to stand, but there she was, shoving a stack of overdue notices into my hands, her eyes blazing, as though the world's failures were somehow my responsibility. Asterisk, I stared down at the bills, the red numbers mocking me. I could feel the weight of every month, every struggle, every sacrifice I had made, pressed into my chest. I already paid the loss too, I muttered, trying to make her understand. Asterisk, she snorted, sharp and dismissive. Then pay the rest. If you're so educated, so independent, so grown up, prove it. Pay your own bills. Asterisk, the words hit me harder than I expected. For years I had worked, studied, and handed over every paycheck I earned while she leaned back, playing the victim, blaming the world for her own choices. That night, something in me finally snapped. Asterisk, my name is Sarah. I'm 22. And my life has always revolved around money, or rather, the lack of it. Money ruled our home, dictated our moods, and colored every interaction. When my dad left years ago, it wasn't just him disappearing from my mom's life. He left me too. All that remained was a faded photograph, a pile of unpaid bills, and a woman whose grief had hardened into something sharp and unforgiving. Asterisk, at 16, I got my first part-time job. Excited, proud, I ran to show her my paycheck. Instead of encouragement, she took my debit card for safekeeping, explaining that we were a team. Every dime I earned went toward rent, cigarettes, cheap wine, and anything else she deemed necessary. By the time I started college, we had always meant me. She stopped looking for steady work, relying entirely on my scholarships, loans, and side hustles. I tried to speak up sometimes. I need this for school, I would say. She'd snap, do you want us on the street? Your father didn't care, but I stayed. And I stayed too. Asterisk, for years. I stayed, handing over my money, my time, my energy. Setting boundaries was pointless. They were twisted into insults. You think you're better than me because you went to college, she'd say, her voice thick with resentment. My achievements were never mine. They were offenses, reminders that I could have a life she never would. Asterisk, then came the night she said it. The words that changed everything. Pay your own bills. Asterisk, I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I packed a backpack, clothes, my laptop, and a single framed photo of my dad and walked out of that apartment, leaving behind the world I had known. My hands trembled, my heart pounded, but my mind had never been clearer. Asterisk, where do you think you're going? She demanded, following me down the hall, voice rising in panic. Asterisk, you told me to pay my own bills, I said softly. So I'm going to live my own life. Asterisk, that night, I slept on Lily's couch. Lily, my friend and the only person who had ever seen the situation clearly from the outside. We sat in her living room, lit only by the dim glow of a street lamp through the blinds. I replayed the confrontation over and over in my head. Asterisk, you finally left, Lily whispered. You should have done it years ago. Asterisk, I know, I said, staring at my phone, expecting a flood of messages that never came. But she still has my name on everything, the lease, the utilities, even the internet. If she stops paying, they'll come after me. Asterisk, Lily frowned. Can't you just remove your name? Asterisk, her innocent question sparked a realization that had been brewing for years. I had spent my life cleaning up her messes, paying her debts, protecting her from consequences. And for the first time, I wondered, what if I didn't? Asterisk, a few days later, I returned to the apartment to grab the rest of my things while she was out. That's when I saw it. A thick envelope on the table with my name on it. Not hers. Mine. Final notice. I opened it. My stomach sank. It wasn't just the power bill. It was a credit card I had never opened. Thousands of dollars of debt, all under my name. Asterisk, I stood alone in the silent apartment, staring at the proof that this wasn't just a struggling mother leaning on her daughter. This was betrayal. Asterisk, from that moment, my thoughts shifted from anger to planning. I took the envelopes to Lily's place, my heart hammering. We spread them across the coffee table like crime scene evidence. My name appeared again and again, attached to debts I hadn't incurred, clothing stores I never shopped at, takeout I never ordered, cash advances I never requested. Asterisk, you opened credit cards in my name? Lily asked, eyes wide. Asterisk, it's my mom. I whispered. The words felt hollow. I had trusted her because she was my mother. But now I realized that trust had been a weapon used against me. Asterisk, that night, while Lily slept, I sat with my laptop, the letters, and a notebook. I pulled my credit report for the first time. Utility accounts, credit cards, small loans I never applied for. I documented everything: account numbers, dates, balances, text messages, voicemails. Each line of debt felt like a punch in the stomach. Proof of years spent protecting someone who had been taking advantage of me. Asterisk, I remembered her voice screaming, pay your own bills, and I finally understood. She never wanted me to grow up. She wanted me to pay for her life. The next day, I went to a free legal aid clinic. My hands shook as I handed over the folder of evidence. The woman behind the desk flipped through it carefully. Asterisk, this is serious, she said. You have options. You can dispute these accounts, file a fraud report, even press charges if necessary. Asterisk, against my own mother? I asked quietly. Asterisk, biology doesn't excuse criminal behavior, she said firmly. Asterisk, I left the clinic shaking, but a new clarity had emerged. For the first time, I was no longer bound by guilt or fear. Asterisk, I closed my personal bank account and opened a new one. I changed my direct deposit at work. I contacted the utility companies and had my name removed from all accounts. When the electricity company warned me, if your name is removed, the remaining account holder will be fully responsible, I felt a strange sense of relief. Finally, the consequences of her actions would fall on her. Asterisk, weeks later, my phone lit up with her name. Asterisk, why is the power off? What did you do? She yelled. Frantic. Asterisk, I took a slow breath. I didn't do anything to you, I said calmly. I just stopped paying for you. Asterisk, there was silence. I knew she hadn't expected this. She had always relied on me as a shield, and now that shield had been removed. Asterisk, for the first time I wasn't the one being crushed under debt, under stress, under her constant anger. I was free. The next days were filled with tension. My mom called constantly, texting threats, trying to manipulate me with guilt. Asterisk, you ruined my life. Everyone will hate you. She screamed in text messages. Asterisk, I didn't reply. Not once. Asterisk, my aunt called, furious. You stole from your mother. Asterisk, I invited her over. I laid out everything, every bill, every credit card, every loan, every email, every voicemail. My aunt flipped through the papers, her face pale. Asterisk, Cynthia, did you really do all this? Asterisk, mom's mask cracked. We're family. Kids help there. Parents! Asterisk, not by destroying their future, my aunt replied. The truth was undeniable. Asterisk, the landlord stepped in. Sarah is removed from the lease. Cynthia, the apartment is under your name alone. If the balance isn't paid, eviction will proceed. Asterisk, mom's face went white. This time I wasn't under pressure. Asterisk, on eviction day, she called from a neighbor's phone. They're putting my things on the curb. Are you happy now? Asterisk, I stayed calm. This isn't revenge. This is responsibility. Yours. Asterisk, she tried to guilt trip me. You could have helped. Asterisk, I did, I said. For years, you called it what I owed you. But I'm done. I won't fix the consequences you created. Asterisk, eventually, the eviction was final. My life slowly became my own. My credit started to recover. My finances stabilized. And for the first time, I wasn't living under her chaos. Asterisk, her last words. You'll regret this someday. Asterisk, I didn't. For the first time, I felt relief. I finally paid my own bills, and for the first time, she paid hers.